Bali has been my home for 40 years, and I really care about it. It's a tiny little island, 60 miles by 90 miles. You could drop it in Siberia and never find it, not to mention the Australian outback. So a friend recently said to me, "John, don't you have any big ideas?" And it kind of threw me for a loop. And I thought, yeah, the island. So as we look over the island, we see agriculture, beautiful agriculture, that was basically sustainable 20 years ago. What would it take to go back to organic agriculture, to take out the chemicals? That would be the beginning. That's food. Power. There's a large power plant powering the island. What would happen if we went off the grid? How many solar panels and how many vortexes in the river would it take? And if we could make a deal with the gods, we have a geothermal point on the Holy Mountain. Off the grid, great food, free power. Congestion is upon us. And it's really, really serious. So as I was whizzing around on trains in Europe, I thought, light rail in Bali, ringing the island. The Balinese have been going to the mother temple on the mountain for 1,000 years, and they used to walk. Now they're going in hundreds of diesel buses. What would happen if there was a train station by the mother temple, or one on the main street of Ubud, and you stepped out of those trains into a pedestrian mall? It wouldn't take much to turn every Balinese motorcycle to electric, not to mention the cars and trucks. So a full electric island that isn't clogged and congested, isn't polluted. It would be amazing. The Subic is a dream in Bali. It's been studied by people from 1,000 universities. It's one of the only sustainable irrigation systems in the world. It brings water to the rice and water to the crops. But this year, when the rainy season comes, it's going to bring tons of plastic to the crops, to the streams, then to the river, and then into the ocean. And this is a big problem that everyone knows about. So what would it take to have Bali, the first island in the world, that only dropped clean water into the beautiful ocean? It would take 100% recycling. And there's no way we're going to be able to explain to our grandchildren why we didn't do that. When they say, "Grandpa, where did the oil go?" we'll point them toward the landfill or the ocean and say, "Oh, we used it in a one-use disposable container and threw it in the garbage." This will be seen in future years as complete craziness. If you've ever lived in a beautiful place where there were tourists, you know it's a problem. Tourists are like water wearing away the granite. Tourists are water wearing away the culture. And although the Balinese are hugely resilient, it's happening. So instead of the tourists coming for a cheap hotel room, a cheap steak, and a funky massage, they could come to see the island that was going green. You could bring your friends and your kids. Possibly, if it got popular enough, you'd have to fill out an application to get one of Bali's many hotel rooms to be able to see this happening. And at the universities of the world, they're talking about green. They're making up green. They're developing green. But take every green university on the planet, have them put a satellite campus here, and have the kids and the professors come and actually do it, experience it. One green island. A prototype for the other million islands in the world that could be green. Everyone always wants to build a prototype. And why Bali? You could do it in Guam, but you could do it in Guam, but you'd have to hire 1,000 social scientists to make up a vibrant culture. The Balinese culture is incredible. I was at the temple recently at a 6-month cleansing ceremony, and everybody's there. The grandpas are there, the little kids are there, and most of all, the teenagers are there, and they're totally into it. This is the only place in the world where we can experience that. So it becomes a perfect circle. There's a culture, there's clean water rushing into the ocean, there's organic food, we're off the grid, and we're making an example to the whole planet.